morning. It is Monday, June 15th. It's 7:15 in the morning, which is the earliest I've been up and moving about in a long time. But this is for good reason, because I am on my way back to Orangetheory for the first time since somewhere around March 13th, probably since like March 10th, I think is probably the last time that I went. So the Orangetheory by my house opened up over the weekend. I didn't go to any of those classes. I just chose to ride my bike, and I'm going today. And one of the trainers that I enjoy the most, her last class for the day is at 7:30, which is why I'm going to this 7:30 class. I would normally still be sleeping right now, but I'm making the sacrifice. The good news in that is that I do want to try and get back on a better schedule. Me waking up at about 9 every day and then going to bed at 2 every morning is not, I don't think it's a bad thing, but I do want to just stop doing it to some extent to see if I'll be more productive throughout the day. So I'm going to try. Maybe this will help me with that, because on the days that I have to work out, or that I choose to work out at Orangetheory, I have to go to bed earlier because the classes that she teaches, or the latest class, is going to be 7:30. So with that in mind, I thought this would be the perfect vlog to kind of answer or focus on my fitness routine. I just feel silly saying that because I really honestly don't think I'm any sort of expert. I'm not a life coach. I'm not a fitness guru. I don't have it all figured out. But exercising on a regular basis is just something that I have worked hard to commit myself to for several years. So I posted a opportunity for people to ask me questions on Instagram yesterday in relationship to my fitness routine, and so I'm going to try and answer those throughout the week. So there were quite a few questions. There were a lot of questions about the Peloton in particular. Some of those I will probably save for when I do just a video about the Peloton, which I'll probably do very soon because I'm coming up on having that for a month. So my plan is just to answer them throughout the week. So one of the questions was, how did I get started? And how many times a week do I work out? So I got started, it had to have been 7 years or so ago, quite a few years ago, when I really buckled down and said I needed to lose some weight. So right now I'm not at my heaviest, but I'm also not at my thinnest. I don't know exactly how much I weigh because I avoid weighing myself at this point because the numbers cause me stress at times. But at my heaviest, I was probably close to 200 pounds. I think I was in the high 180s, if not the 190s. At my lowest, I think the lowest I've ever gotten is 137. And honestly, I think that was kind of hard for me to maintain, but that was the smallest that I got. And what I did to start or kick that off is I started the South Beach diet, which is like the Atkins diet, but not exactly the same. So I started everything with the South Beach diet. It has 3 different phases. If you're interested, I would definitely look it up. The first phase is the most restrictive, where you're having 0 carbs at all, no fruit, no anything that is a carb you can't have. So you're just eating protein. And for those 2 weeks, I was essentially eating the same thing every day. And in those 2 weeks, I lost, I believe, 10 pounds. But it was not the most pleasant experience because you do go through a day or two of just having a headache because your body is just in shock almost. The second phase, you bring back some carbs, but they're very specific kind of carbs. And you do that until you've gotten to the weight that you've set as a goal for yourself. And then the third phase, you're just really maintaining, which is very similar to phase 3. And the theory is if you find that you're picking up weight, you just go back to phase 2 and adjust. And so I was very, not restrictive, but very disciplined is what I would say. So during that time, I never had things like pancakes, bagels, anything pasta, unless it was a special occasion. And I felt great. I felt good about myself. And during that time, during those I don't even know if I was on the South Beach when I did this. I also ran a half marathon in there, so there was a lot of running going on. But the South Beach diet is what I would credit to just dropping the weight. And I just felt good in my own skin at that weight. I still feel pretty good about myself now, but I know I can be smaller, which is something that I would like to work on. So that's how I got started. As far as how frequently do I exercise, my goal is at minimum to exercise 5 days a week. So when Orangetheory was up and running at its normal situation, I was going 5 days a week, taking 2 days off. My intention is to do the same now, but now that I have the Peloton, I'm contemplating now that I have the Peloton, I'm actually doing something 7 days a week. It's just 2 of those days is a much shorter amount of exercise. And I'm contemplating doing like 2 workouts a day on the days that I go to Orangetheory, just because I have the bike at home and I do want to drop some weight. So we're going to see how that goes. But at minimum, I will go 5 days a week. And because I'm going back to Orangetheory, the other thing that I'm going to try and I'm going to share in this process is I'm going to try intermittent fasting. I've been very anti-intermittent fasting, just watching my friend Liza do it, because she just seems like she's hungry all the time, which is not attractive to me. It seems miserable. But when I looked it up, I basically intermittent fast right now. So the one that I'm choosing, is you can't eat from 9 p.m. to 1 p.m. I'm on day 2. Liza says intermittent fasting allowed her to lose 10 pounds. The 10 pounds that she desperately felt like she needed to lose, but really didn't. So I'm going to see how it goes. And I'll keep you guys posted on that. But I need to get ready. I'm at Orangetheory, and I'm excited. So, okay, it is 9:58 to be precise. Obviously, took my Orangetheory class. It was great. 45 minutes. So right now the classes are shortened from 60 to 45 minutes. I think you can have no more than 12 people in a class, so you're not ever next to anyone on a machine. I think there was at least one machine in between me and the next person. They have to take your temperature before you come in. You're not allowed to bring anything inside except for your keys, a towel, and a water bottle, but you can bring like your workout bag and all of that. What else is different? They still sanitize, like they're cleaning in between classes, you're sanitizing after use, and then when you exit, you have to exit out the back door, and they have lanes like directing traffic, like traffic flow. So it was good, it felt good. To like lift a weight, really. Then after that, I went to get my car washed because it hadn't been washed in months, so I got an express wax. Then I went to the school to drop off my September bin of books and pick up the October bin of books, and now I'm home. I'm on my Peloton bike right now because I've decided to take a quick 20-minute class to kind of make up for the minutes that I didn't do in Orangetheory, and because it's relatively early, and because honestly I'm trying to drop a little bit over the summer. So I'm going to take this class here, right here, because a friend of mine said she took it this morning and she said it was really good. So it's a 20-minute 2010's Pop Ride by Tunde. This is my setup. So I bought this tower fan. I think I showed it to you in a previous vlog. I just put that there. There's the remote to it. I also have my ceiling fan going while I ride, and then this is the bike, and there's my desk. It's set up in my office. So one of the questions, let's fix this. One of the questions is who is my favorite instructor? That will be a question that I answer on the actual video that will be devoted to the Peloton bike. So I'm gonna do a quick 20 minutes. Then I need to do some sit-ups because my tummy needs to be tightened. We need to get that situated. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna shower, and get dressed and try not to think about the fact that I can't eat until 1 o'clock, because honestly I'm hungry right now. It's funny that I wouldn't normally be eating at this time anyway, but I woke up much earlier than I normally do, and psychologically it's different when you just haven't eaten yet because you've made that choice, and you're not eating yet because you're restricted from eating. So I think it's a little psychological, so I'm trying to fill my stomach with water and keep myself busy in the process. So I'm gonna do this quick 20-minute ride, and I will probably check in with you later on in the day. Before 5 o'clock, I believe the last time I checked in with you guys, I was getting ready to take that spin class. I took it 20 minutes. It was great. I then showered, got dressed, did the daily facts list for the month of October, and then I had my book club meeting. That's what happened. So we had book club. We discussed chapters 6 and 7 of Why Are All the Black Kids Sitting Together in the Cafeteria. As always, we had a very good discussion with that. I'm going to say this every vlog, I think. If you have not picked up that book, I would suggest that you do it, read it, listen to it. It is good information for everyone, like regardless of your race, cultural or ethnic background. And then while that was wrapping up, I made myself some food and I ate it. I will say this, I think I said it earlier, like just having to follow the rule of not eating until a certain time psychologically is much more difficult. So I was ready to eat when I did eat. I just ate breakfast for lunch. I ended up eating at about 2 o'clock because the meeting or the book chat was still going on. So I ate, and then I just went upstairs. I just came down for a little while and got all the books for the month of October listed on Amazon, put captions up, and then sent some stuff out for leadership. I'm trying to do this virtual campfire. I don't want to go into too many details because I don't know exactly if it's going to happen yet. If it does, I'll definitely talk about it because it's something that I think is a great opportunity if you can afford it. The company that I've been talking to, I can't think of their name right now, but the person I've been speaking to has been very nice and flexible in trying to see if they can make this affordable, because it does cost, and I think it's really geared towards companies, but I thought this would be like a fun summertime team builder. And so she's been working with me on that. So I just finished emailing my leadership students for next year to see if they are able and willing to pay $10 a person for us to have this virtual campfire. So I sent that out. And then I just printed out the social justice standards. So what I would like to do today, after possibly a cat nap, cooking dinner, walking Riley at least, because she is in no position to be going on a walk right now, is what I would like to do is look at the social justice standards and start wrapping my brain around what I want social studies and history to look like next year. Like, where do I want to start? What foundation do I want to lay? What steps am I going to implement and take to make sure my instruction is more authentic and more supportive of the idea of like teaching kids how to be civically engaged, and also making sure that it's more like not specific but more accurate and at the same time engaging. So I have a lot of ideas running around in my mind. In fact, when I went to bed last night, I did like sit up really quickly because I had this idea that popped into my head, so I had to write it down. So what I have done is I have bought myself this little planner here that just is a year-long planner. It's a calendar. It's not a teacher planner. It's just really a calendar to kind of map things out. I'm not sure if that's really going to work all that well. I have also read the social studies framework introduction, as well as the information that is specific to 8th grade. And I took notes and highlighted stuff. I did that a couple weeks ago. So I need to be referring to that while I'm planning, and also the social justice standards that I printed out and stuck somewhere in this planner I just printed these from Teachers Pay Teachers. It was a free download. Oh, here they are. From my friend that I know a lot of you also follow, Megan from Too Cool for Middle School. I didn't print them all. I printed the ones that I think I would use the most frequently. Not that the other ones are no good, but I mean, I think these are the ones that I would use the most frequently in regards to lesson planning. So later on today, I would like to really get into that. I feel like I've been procrastinating because I'm kind of overwhelmed by the concept of figuring out my life with this social studies textbook that is really thick and dense. It looks like this. So I think I just get overwhelmed by it, but I think once I get started, it'll be good. So that is what I plan to do the rest of the day. I also need to cook. I think I'm having some kind of a burger with roasted carrots. I may or may not vlog that little footage for you guys, but I do know that I probably won't pick up the camera anymore to talk today because I want to focus on this. So, oh, the other thing before I end for the day is I think someone asked this question or alluded to it or asked something that made me think of it. But a few people asked about motivation and how do I stay motivated. So I want to say I am an avid watch lover. I have several different kinds of watches. And because of that, I was very hesitant to get an Apple Watch because there's not a whole lot of variety except for changing out the bands. But in a moment of weakness around last November, December, I think, I ended up getting the Apple Watch. And this really does help me to stay motivated. So, if you don't know, she's getting ready to snort. See, she wants to jump and she shouldn't. If you don't know, I'll show you on my phone. With the watch, you can track 3 categories. You're tracking your move, which are really just, let me make sure, your move, which are calories, your exercise, and the goal is 30 minutes. So for me, my move goal is to burn 580 calories a day. My exercise goal is 30 minutes a day. And then the stand goal is 12 instances of standing a day. I'm not gonna say 12 hours, but you have to stand at least for a minute or so every hour for 12 hours throughout the day. So right now it's telling me that I've burned 916 calories. I've exercised a total of 86 minutes and I have stood for 10 hour or 10. I've gotten credit for 10 hours worth of stand. Hold on, I'm about to yell at Genesis. Get out of that bowl. She likes to eat out of Riley's bowl. And so I tracked this. And so last month, Genesis, come here. She's being very hard-headed right now. So last month, my goal was to close all 3 rings. So if you hit those goals, your ring will close. Let me go back to it so that it makes sense if you don't know what I'm talking about here. No, let's go. Okay, so today you see there's 3 rings. The red one is the move ring, the green one is the exercise ring, and the blue one is the stand ring. So as you hit all of those goals, the rings will close. So if someone refers to closing their rings, that's what they're talking about. So I wanted to close all my rings every day for the month of May, which I did. So it looks like that. And that is just very satisfying to look at it. And so since I did it for the month of May, I'm currently working on continuing that for the month of June. And so far I've done that every day for the month of June. So I'm saying all that to say that is also motivating for me, like just to see it. So if you have an Apple Watch, try that. You can adjust the goals, like if you want more calories to be burned, if you want to exercise longer, all of that is adjustable. And I think you can adjust the stand goal as well. It just defaults to that when you put your personal information there, I think is what I did on my phone. So that's what keeps me motivated. So that is my little exercise talk for the day. Tomorrow I will take a look at the questions and answer some of the questions in tomorrow's clips, but I know for a fact that I'm not going to talk to you guys for the rest of the day, so I will see you tomorrow. Hello, it is Tuesday. It is 7 o'clock in the evening and it's been a long day. I just actually woke up from a power nap because I was that tired. So what have I been doing today? Today I woke up earlier. The cleaning lady comes on Tuesdays, every other Tuesday at 8:30, which is probably not early for some of you, but for me it's earlier than what I've been waking up because I've been going to bed so late. She does come, and just before anybody says anything, she's been coming. She wears a face mask. I wear a face mask. We stay separated and all of that. So she came, and while she was doing that, I was working on like plans for next year. I haven't gotten that far because like I'm at the stage where I want to decide how I want to start the year in relationship to social studies and language arts, or social studies and history. And then after the cleaning lady left, I had a Zoom meeting or a Google Meet with the negotiations team in my district because we're going to have to do some kind of negotiating over the summer, given the fact that the next school year is going to look a little different. So I was on that meeting for a little over an hour, probably close to an hour and a half. Then after that, I took a spin class on the Peloton. After that, I finally got to eat. So I ate some lunch. When I finished my lunch, then I had a union meeting with all the site reps in the district, and that lasted till almost 6. It went from like 4-ish to almost 6. And then by the end of that, I just couldn't hold my eyes open anymore. So I took a nap, and I just woke up from that not too long ago. And right now I'm contemplating taking Riley on a WAOK. I've been taking him out by himself for the past couple of days because Genesis is just not right. I think it's time for her to have a comprehensive exam. She's right there in case you're wondering. And I need to call to make that appointment. She's getting ready to snort. I need to call and make that appointment. And when I do that and take her in, I'm going to have them, if this continues, I'm going to have them look at her because I don't know what it is. I think it's one of her legs, and she only cries out when she's sleeping. So walking, jumping, whatever else she chooses to do doesn't seem to bother her, but she will wake up out of sleep crying, and I don't know if it's like she's laying on it wrong or whatever the case is. So I haven't been taking her out because I'm not 100% sure what the issue is, and I don't want to be stuck in the middle of a walk with her in pain. So I'm going to think about whether or not I'm doing that, because for dinner I'm having leftovers from Blue Apron, which was a jalapeno burger last night and roasted carrots. There are no more carrots, so I get to have french fries is the rule. And so since I'm having french fries, I would like to burn a little extra in the calorie area, and I try and take them out every day. And speaking of burning calories, I am jumping on, not because I have anything earth-shattering to say, but because I just closed my rings on my Apple Watch, and then that reminded me that I needed to jump on here and answer a few of these questions from Instagram in relationship to my exercise, fitness routine, whatever we want to call it. So I think I'm going to answer 3. And so the first question that I'm going to answer, some of these are about the Peloton.
I'm having trouble hearing you.
Does anybody else have that issue? My watch, Siri, every now and then thinks I'm talking to her and I'm not. And that was one of those times. So the first question is asking me, what is my favorite exercise to relieve stress? I think anything that is cardio based is my favorite exercise to relieve stress. The Peloton bike has been amazing for that. Like, depending on how I feel when I wake up, if I'm in a mood or whatever my mood is will dictate what instructor I choose to take a class from. But really anything that's cardio based tends to make me feel better. And someone else asked, I think it's a question here somewhere, what type of exercise do I prefer? I think I'm very heavy on cardio, which is one of the reasons why I like Orangetheory so much, because it does have cardio, but it also forces me to do weights, which is never something that I independently choose to do. So that's my favorite type of exercise to relieve stress. The second one says, how do you... Come on, Jenny. How long do you work out? In a perfect world, at minimum, I will exercise for an hour. So Orangetheory is an hour, or it has been. Right now it's 45 minutes. The Peloton bike does have some 60-minute classes, but not a lot. So I take the 45-minute classes and just kind of leave it at that, because I'll usually follow that up with a 10-minute core exercise. But 60 minutes is my minimum. Because if I do anything less, I kind of wonder, like, does it really matter? Did I really exercise? So I would like to exercise for a minimum of 60 days on the days that I'm actively choosing to exercise, and not like a more rest day where I'm just kind of trying to be active but not necessarily pushing too hard. And then the last one that I'm going to answer for today is, how do you stay motivated? I stay motivated by remembering how good I'll feel afterwards. So I try and think of myself after the exercise, because I know I always feel better about myself after it's done. And I also think about how I feel when I know I was supposed to exercise and I don't. I'm just like riddled with guilt, and that is the worst feeling. And then I also think about how I feel like in my body, in my clothes, and that is what keeps me going. And then I think about the overall health benefits, like I'm doing something that's good for me, and all of that. And then again, having the Apple Watch does help motivate me, because I want to close the ring. And the watch is very good about telling you, like, you should have closed your rings by now, or you can still do it. And sometimes to the point where I need my watch to calm down because it's panicking when it shouldn't be panicking. So those are the things I use to stay motivated. But I will say, I think generally speaking, I'm somewhat of a pretty disciplined person. So I definitely think that helps. But if you know about yourself that you're not the most self-disciplined, then I could see how just staying consistent is a challenge. So that's another reason why I like Orangetheory, not a plug. But the fact that if you cancel classes, depending on the membership that you have, if you have unlimited classes, if you cancel a class, there is a charge. And that $12 is something that keeps a lot of people motivated to take the class that they signed up for, because you don't want to pay $12 for just not showing up. So that's really all I have to share. Nothing else exciting happened today. I just spent a lot of time in a Zoom or Google Meet. I'm not cooking anything. I'm might do some school stuff, but I am pretty tired. And I've just been kind of in a mood, like just tired of being by myself for as long as I've been by myself in this situation. So hopefully I get my butt off this couch and take him out for a walk, because it's the right thing to do. But aside from that, that's it. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Change pants and shoes, because I'm gonna go on a walk with Liza. I didn't vlog yesterday because yesterday I just was not emotionally in a good mood. And I'm surprised I have the camera right now, because I'm not even necessarily in the best of moods now. And in the name of you guys appreciating me being honest about, like, just my thoughts, my feelings in general, I think I'm having a period of time where being pretty much alone at home for the better part of 3 months is like taking its toll. I do have dogs, and I do have a comfortable place to live in, but I put on Instagram yesterday, with the exception of like a day here or there, I've really just been by myself all day, every day for 3 months. And in that, it's just a lot of time to like a lot of time to think about things. And some things are good, and some things are motivating, and some things make you get up and produce something or do something productive. But then there's also things that you think about that are not necessarily the most productive thoughts or the most uplifting thoughts. And so I've just been stuck in this feeling of like, I'm just gonna be by myself for the rest of my life. like what if this is your life forever? And so that's not the best feeling, especially in this circumstance where you really are not supposed to be around other people too much. So that gets me down. And then I I also equate that to, like, this is gonna sound really weird, but I feel like I'm letting my parents down. Like, they're not experiencing some things that they should be experiencing at this phase in their life because I, the oldest, have not successfully put a little family of my own together. So that's been getting to me. And then you would then say, well, maybe get your mind off of that and do schoolwork. Well, I'm not really in the right headspace to even want to do that because I can't concentrate on it because I'm still like thinking about what I just mentioned. And it's hard to plan for school when I don't know 100% of like what it's looking like yet. So yesterday I literally did nothing productive. I laid on the couch and just was in a mood. I did have a meeting yesterday morning. I take that back. I did have a district meeting where we are talking about like what next school year could look like and trying to extrapolate and look at data to kind of help the district figure that out. So I did do that from about 8:30 yesterday to almost 1. So I did that. I did take a spin class on my Peloton bike. And so that was pretty much all I did. I was supposed to cook yesterday and I didn't. Today, I had one little like check-in session with Megan at Too Cool for Middle School, Zarina from Little Upbeat Classroom, and Stacy from the Donut Loving Teacher. They're all on Instagram and we are working together. We were supposed to have a little intimate teaching conference today out in the Los Angeles area, and obviously that got canceled because of COVID, so we just kind of chatted to kind of figure out where we wanted to go from here. And then I just now finished a panel talk with other history teachers across the country talking about like, you know, how do we take what's going on in the world right now and like use that to drive what we do as teachers next year. So I did those 2 things, but aside from that, it's been a lot of laying around, feeling like down. I do know, before anyone says, I do know that I have a lot to be thankful for. I am like intellectually aware of that, but emotionally, I think just being by yourself for an extended period of time without work or just the normal stuff of everyday life to distract you makes you susceptible to getting into these thought processes that I found myself in. So that's my truth. That is where I've been. And so I didn't vlog yesterday because I wasn't a pleasant person to be around, and I'm not even the most pleasant person to be around right now, but I felt bad. So I picked up the camera and I have some questions, some fitness-based questions to answer. One of them, I'm trying to remember all of them. There's a few more. The rest of them are really Peloton based and I'm gonna save those. But one of the questions was, do I count calories? And I don't think I answered this question yet. Hopefully I didn't. And the answer to that is I don't. When I was in high school, I did count calories. I was pretty thick in high school, and around my junior year is when I started to make a decision to lose weight. So my dad made me a little chart and I literally counted calories for everything that I ate. If I remember correctly, I was allowing myself 1,200 calories a day. Now how I got those calories, I didn't pay attention to. Sometimes those calories came in the form of donuts, Snicker bars, Chinese food. So it wasn't like healthy calories, it was just literally counting calories. And I also did religiously a Jane Fonda step aerobics video, and I wish I could find that video because it got the job done. And I slimmed down quite a bit. And it might be fun if I can find pictures of these different phases, but I slimmed down quite a bit. And then between high school and my mid to late 20s, I had gained quite a bit of weight back. And then that's when I did the whole South Beach diet thing and I like lost weight there, but I wasn't counting calories. I just feel like I'm at a phase in life or at a point in life where that's just not feasible to me. In high school, I had all the time in the world to do that kind of stuff. Right now, I don't have time to do that. So I don't count calories. And I don't measure food. I just try and have like a mental awareness of what I'm eating, how much of it I'm eating. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm trying intermittent fasting, because you don't really have to measure or count anything. You just have to eat within those time frames and eat within a reasonable amount of food. So no, I do not count calories. And I forgot my phone downstairs, but one of the other questions was asking me how, I think it was something like, how do I stay motivated to work out so early in the morning during the school year? And honestly, I wake up upset every morning, mad, like just all of that. Having that Orangetheory fee does help, because if you don't cancel class in time, there is a charge. So again, that helped. Secondly, I know I'm going somewhere where my friends are going to be, so misery loves company. I like the staff at the Orangetheory that I attend, so it's kind of like a social thing. And then lastly, I just know that that is 5 o'clock in the morning is an hour in the day where I know it will be uninterrupted. Like, there will be no interruptions in getting that workout done. Whereas if I waited after school, there's staff meetings, there's IEPs, there's lesson planning, there's copying, there's always something happening after school that could potentially get in the way. So it just doesn't work for me. And I don't like to exercise with makeup on my face, food in my stomach. And so first thing in the morning is what works for me. I hate it. But I also tell myself what I hate more is not feeling healthy. And so I just begrudgingly get out of bed every morning at 4:20 in the morning and get myself dressed in the dark and go and just remind myself, like, and psychologically tell myself, you're just mad because it's dark outside. I'm not getting any less sleep. I'm still getting the same amount of sleep. So it's just a mental thing. And I have to tell myself that as I'm angrily putting on my gym clothes at that time of the day. So those are the 2 questions I can remember. I think there's a couple more questions that are not Peloton related that I will answer. So yeah, I'm getting ready to go on this walk with Liza. Hopefully I don't feel as bad today as I felt yesterday, but I don't feel like necessarily like happy and joyful. So I'm gonna force myself to go out and socialize with a friend, and hopefully that'll make it better. Because of that, I might be off my intermittent fasting schedule because I haven't cooked dinner and it's already about 6:30, so I would have to come back and cook and all of that. So yeah, I'm gonna go on a walk, and I don't know, I might check in with you later on before the day is up, but if not, definitely sometime tomorrow. Hello, it is Friday, Juneteenth, June 19th. It is just a little bit before 11 o'clock. Yesterday I did end up going on the walk with Liza. That was very helpful to get out, to just socialize with someone. We went to Yogurtland and picked up yogurt. I got mine to go because I hadn't had dinner yet. And then I came home. I ended up making my Blvd meal, which was chicken pitas. And because of all of that, I ended up eating outside of the intermittent fasting time frame, which I'm just going to be okay with, because there will be days where things don't quite work out. So I think I ended up eating dinner around 9:30 or something, and I'm supposed to finish eating by 9. So I did that and basically went to bed afterwards. This morning I woke up and went to a 7:30 Orangetheory class, which was nice. Came home and showered and just relaxed on the couch with the dogs for a little while. And now I'm heading to a beauty supply to pick up some synthetic hair because I'm going to get my hair braided today. So last summer I had my hair braided in small individuals. This summer I'm going to see about getting my hair braided up into like a bun style, because I've been wearing my hair up well, not all summer, because summer hasn't even started yet, really. I've been wearing my hair up since basically quarantining started. I didn't have the ability to go to my hairdresser, and it's convenient because it tends to get hot in Southern California, and it's nice because then it's just up when I work out. And the hard part with my braids last year is that they were heavy when I put them all up, especially when it came to exercising. So this style that I'm thinking about shouldn't take very long, and it shouldn't be heavy because there's not going to be nowhere near as many braids as there were last year. So I'm going to buy the hair for that, and then my appointment is at 11:30, and the place where I'm getting it done at is very close to where I live, so I should have enough time to do that and get back. I also need to buy myself a snack because I'm going to get hungry at some point, so I need a snack, so I'm going to do that. And then the rest of the day I have an invite to attend like this session of educators. Hopefully my hair is done being braided by then so that I can attend it. But other than that, I don't have anything planned. I am feeling a little bit better today than I have been the past couple of days. So that's always positive news. But I feel like there was something else I wanted to say, and I'm just forgetting what it is right now. But anyway, that's when I remember, I'll speak on it. And if I never remember, it must not have been important. But that's what I'm getting ready to do right now. I'm just heading to the beauty supply to get that done, and then I'm gonna get my hair braided. So more than likely, I won't be checking it until after my hair is braided, and that will be later on in the day. So, okay, I'm home. Obviously, it is now 7:30. I've been home for a while. We didn't get started on my hair until about noon by the time I got there and we got started, and I was done by about 3 o'clock. So I don't know if you can see, but this is the finished product. So I just had her braided up into a bun right here. I'm not sure what my camera work is doing, but I think I like it. I just have to get used to it. So it's gonna be like this for a while. It's nice and convenient. I don't have to do my hair. I don't have to worry about it when I'm working out. So I'm happy with it overall. So I got home, I would say around 4, because after I left there, I stopped at Subway. I got a sandwich to eat for lunch, and I went to Starbucks because it's Friday, and that's like my Friday treat. Came home, ate, talked to my aunt for a quick second, talked to my brother, and just finished talking to my sister and Liza. Liza is currently contemplating whether or not she's gonna come back to Orangetheory right now or delay it. So I was trying to convince her to come back, but she wants me to go to an early class tomorrow, and I'm not sure how I feel about that because I'm signed up for class tomorrow, but at 10 o'clock. And I was excited to be able to sleep in a little bit tomorrow, but we'll see. But I definitely needed to hop on and answer the last few questions based on fitness. I just lost my train of thought. Based on fitness, since that was kind of the focus of this week. But the last couple of questions, one of them is asking me, do I lift weights? And so the answer to that is yes, but only when I take an Orangetheory class. So when we were home and the gym was closed or Orangetheory was closed, I'm sure those of you that tried realized getting your hands on weights was very difficult. Like basically any piece of fitness equipment was very difficult to get your hands on, and I could never find weights, and so that was frustrating that I wasn't lifting any weights. But one of the reasons why I'm choosing to go back to Orangetheory is because I know with those workouts there's a rotation that's based on weights and weights and I can't think today, there's a word I'm looking for. Like just a strength rotation where it's either you're using physical weights or you're using your body weight to kind of tone up and build muscle. And that's something that I need someone to instruct me to do and show me how to do, otherwise I tend not to do it. So I do lift weights to kind of keep things balanced out and try and tone up. This question says, how do you run outside instead of the gym? Every time I try to run outside, I end up walking, which I get. It's just like a mental game. So when I was running outside, number one, I have to have a very good playlist. Like I have to have good music to run outside, and the music has to be very loud. I don't want to hear the sound of my feet hitting pavement. I don't want to hear the sound of me breathing. I just want to hear music, and typically I need very like aggressive like hip hop music to like stay motivated. And then I just try and chunk the run into milestones. So the trail that I was running on, I would run all the way until I got to a particular street, and I knew that when I got to that street I would allow myself to walk during the crosswalk period and take a quick rest, and then I would run the rest of the way, but I was just really mentally talking myself through it the whole time. Like, you're almost there, you're gonna feel so good when it's done. And then especially on the way running back, it's hard running away from where you started because you're like, I'm running further and further away. But I always found it easier when I was running back because I'm like, the more you run, the quicker you'll be back to where you started and this whole experience will be over. So just not allowing myself to stop even when I want to, because once you stop, it is hard to get started again. And I have to run alone. It's hard for me to run in groups because I don't like to run and talk, and I don't like to compare my pace or my running to someone else. So I usually prefer to run by myself. The next question is, how do you motivate yourself to work out so early? I think I answered that question already yesterday. I think I did. That's a Peloton question. And what's the one thing you tell yourself to get up and get moving? I find excuses. I find excuses also. But the thing that I tell myself is that it's good for me. It's good for my health. It'll make me healthier. It'll make me feel better about myself physically. So I just kind of focus on that to kind of get me through the excuse making. And I always feel bad if I don't work out, so that helps out. This question says, any advice on how you manage your fitness routine whilst being a teacher or a busy student? I think you just have to get to a point where you make it as much of a priority as you would getting work done. Like when you start to view it as like self-care, that you're taking care of yourself, when you start to tell yourself that you're worth the time, and really finding a time of day that you know will be uninterrupted. So like I said yesterday, I believe I have to go at 5 o'clock in the morning during the school year because I have no excuse not to work out during that time because it's not going to be interrupted. But if you say, oh, I'll do it after work, something's gonna come up, you're gonna be tired. It's just easier to find excuses. And once you get into a routine and you start to feel better and see results, that kind of keeps you motivated. So you just have to kind of stick with it. And I think that, oh no, there's more. How do you stay motivated to work out at home? That was very difficult, which is why I miss Orangetheory so much. But now having the Peloton bike, it's not as difficult because I really do enjoy it, but I don't typically like my home to also be my workout facility. And so surprisingly, I don't mind having the Peloton bike, but I used to be very anti working out at home, but quarantine life made it so that I had to. But I hated it. I hate it. I don't like YouTube workouts. I don't really even have the space in my house, like in my living room. There really isn't even the space for me to work out in. And that was another reason why I got the Peloton bike, because it took up such a small amount of space, but was gonna give me a good workout. But again, the motivation was, this is what I have to do right now, and it's temporary. Do you do just one workout a day or morning and afternoon one? I do one workout a day, preferably in the morning. I like to just get it done and out of the way. If I'm feeling really motivated like I did earlier this week, I will take 2 classes, but still earlier in the day. I like to just work out, take a shower, be dressed, and be done with it. Rarely will I work out in the evening because I just don't do it. I don't really like it, even when I have time to do it. When the evening comes, I just want to relax. This one says, well, it's a Peloton question. I'll save it, but it is pretty funny. How do I stay motivated? I feel like I answered that one already. Do I track my food? How do I balance teaching and health? I struggle. I don't officially track my food. Like, I don't use an app, I don't write it down. I just mentally track like what I've eaten throughout the day. If I know I've exercised, I feel a little bit more leniency if I want to have like something sweet. If I didn't, I try to avoid it. I also don't buy food that I know I can't handle having in the house. So I don't have a lot of snack food. I don't have a lot of things that I know I just enjoy, like Cheez-Its. I can't buy Cheez-Its on a regular basis. Crackers, chips, cookies, because I will eat it. So any type of snack food that I do buy, I try and make sure it's healthy, like fruit, apple slices, cherries, strawberries, so that if I do feel the urge to snack, I at least know I'm not doing a whole lot of damage. And just balancing teaching and health, like, you have to be planned. So I make sure to plan out my lunches, pack my lunches, really just make sure I minimize having temptation in my household. Like, if I'm gonna do something bad, I'm gonna have to put in some effort, get in the car, go somewhere and get it. And that sometimes prevents me from making some poor choices. Let's see. Cardio or weights, which is your favorite? Definitely cardio. I will lift weights because I need to, but I prefer cardio. And then my friend that's in a book club, let me see, let me make sure I read the question. This is from the Chronicles of Teacher Taylor. He is also a teacher on Instagram and YouTube. He's a music teacher in Boston, I believe. And he just says, where does one begin? Like I said earlier in the week, you just have to have that moment where you see yourself either in a picture or a mirror and you just are like, what is happening here? Or like just internally, maybe you don't feel healthy and you want to make the changes. You just have to do it and just like force yourself to do it. It's not easy. I wish I was one of those people that like loves working out and wakes up and can't wait to do it, but I'm not. So it's an active choice that I have to make every single day that I do it. I always feel better when I finish, and so I try and remember that when I start. And I just like, I just get it done because I need to get it done. So I don't know, I hope that this week my little like bits and pieces of sharing what I do in terms of like, in terms of what I do to try and stay physically healthy has helped. I'll even see if I can find some pictures of what I look like in my 20s before I started South Beach Diet, so you can kind of get a sense of where I started versus where I'm at now. And if I'm really brave, because I don't know that I want to see them, like I'll find some pictures of myself when I was at my smallest, so you guys can see that I'm in between those two places. So yeah, so anyway, I hope it was helpful. If it was, or if you just enjoyed the vlog for just the fact that it was another vlog, give this video a thumbs up. If you are not subscribed, please make sure that you do. And if you have any comments, any questions, go ahead and leave that in the comment section. And I absolutely, positively will do my best to respond to your comments in a timely fashion. If you're not following me on Instagram, make sure you follow me there, because like I said earlier, like the two platforms kind of interact with each other at times, especially when it comes to teaching content or lesson planning stuff. But yeah, that's all I have to say for this week. Thank you so much for watching, and I will be sure to see you next week. Until then, talk to you later.